Hi, welcome to Module 4 of COIS 3820H. In this module, we'll be talking about mainframes and commercial computing. So the purpose of this module, we'll see the first sort of wide-scale use of computers, and this is by business. Business interacts with the average person, so this again is the first time the average people really get a chance to interact with a computer, even though many of them don't actually see the computer. It'll also give us a chance to introduce some of the most important companies in the world, at least in the tech field, and some that don't exist anymore. The impact on society is actually very large here. Again, it's the first time the average person gets to interact with a computer. People get to do that via punch cards. It used to be that if you got your phone bill or your water bill or your hydro bill, along in the envelope they would include a punch card, and this punch card held all your personal info on. So when you sent back your check, you would include the punch card, and then they would send it through the computer and would update your record. So this is what a punch card looked like. They all said on them, do not fold, spindle, or mutilate, because by adding another hole to the punch card, you've changed the information stored on this punch card. You can see on this card, they've indicated the punch holes that indicate the digits from 0 to 9, the letters from A to Z, and the special characters like greater than, less than, period, comma, semicolon, etc. Basically, this is set by column. So if you look under, say, the 0 for the digit, you'll just see that first punch hole in that first row would indicate that this is the numeral 0. If you look, say, under the letters, you see for letter A, there's that punch hole that's up high, and then it looks like the third row in the main body is also punched, so those two punch holes would indicate this is a A. Job of the future. In 1970, when I was going to university, one of the jobs of the future was as a programmer. I took actually a course in COBOL programming in 1970, and this is exactly how we would write our programs. Write it down on the sheet. On this sheet, we have the value of what we want to write, the number of our instruction, in the first few columns, our instruction, and along the top was the column numbers. It was very important to make sure you had the right information in the right columns. So this is how you would write your program. You would then pass your program off to a key punch operator, much like this lady shown. Nice hair, by the way. And she would take your sheet, she would punch in, type in basically what you'd written down, and that would punch the holes in the punch cards. You can see in front of the lady the punch cards being punched as she would press the keyboard. And in fact, in her hand, she has a little bundle of cards that she's already punched. Then you would take your box of cards, which you get from the key punch operator, to the computer operator, like this gentleman being shown here. He would feed the cards into the machine whenever he had a chance, generally in a day or two. If there was a problem with the program, it would spit out a card, so you would get back the box of cards with one card sticking out. And that was where the program stopped. That's probably not where the error is, but it's where the program stopped. So you'd have to look at your sheet where you've written your program on and work backwards trying to see where the error was. Then you would take it back to the key punch operator. She would repunch the card, take it to the computer operator, and he would run the program to see if it worked properly. This was a very time-intensive procedure. It would take weeks, months to get a very simple program to work. Mainframes still used now. IBM System Z. I have a former student who works for a large bank, and they have an IBM System Z, which handles all the transactions from all their ATMs. It can handle up to, I believe it's 720,000 transactions a second. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're looking at what the interface looks like. And this is the Z operating system. Mainframes tend to only be used now by major banks, maybe some government agencies, people monitoring the weather, climate change, and that sort of thing.